Hello everyone, welcome to goclasses. I hope I'm audible. Just a brief intro about me. I am Pragati, and for my GATE preparation, I started around June 2025. That was when I started preparing for GATE, and this year, in my first serious attempt, my rank was 285 in GATE and 590 in GATE CS and 596 in GATE DA. And now I will be joining IISc Bangalore for MTech in Computer Science. Let's just start with the session, right? So we all can make the most of the session. You all can raise your hand one after the other and we can discuss if you have any doubts or you just want to share how you are preparing or if you want to just get clarity or confirmation on anything. Rishi, Ankit, Kiran, does anyone want to start? You can raise your hand.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Rishi.
Yeah, so I just wanted to know
Yeah.
how did you solve the PYQs? Okay, so did you dedicate, 1 week for PYQs or every day you should do PYQs
Yeah, so
with other
definitely, yeah,
subjects,
right,
ongoing
right.
subjects?
Yeah, so definitely with ongoing subjects only you'll have to do your PYQs because what happens is when you reach this, especially November, December, Jan, these 3 months, you will be focusing you should ideally be focusing a lot on the like the mock test you are giving or the subject wise and topic wise test, basically the test series, because PYQs and test series, I would say both are equally important, and the test series would make sense only once you have at least done the PYQs. So once you finish your syllabus, it's ideally supposed to be completed along with revision and PYQs. So for PYQs, what you could do is, so whatever subjects you have completed till now, you can dedicate, 1 or 2 hours per day. Along with your ongoing subjects, so for majority of the time you should still be covering your syllabus, right? Because there are about 7 months only left. So for the most of your time you cover your lectures of new subjects, and make a fixed time, maybe 2 hours at least a day, for solving PYQs of the subjects that you have done before. So for me, I usually did, because I could focus more towards the lecture during the first few hours of my studies. So I used to dedicate PYQs I used to sit around 11 p.m. So from that to my target was at least 2 hours, so till one. And if I had energy, then I continued even after that. And also one thing that worked for me with consistency was that initially, because even with solving PYQs, we get a lot of doubts, and sometimes a lot of time goes into looking and understanding the solution, which is also important. But we have to keep a check on our speed as well. So, what one thing which worked for me was that I decided to solve 25 questions every day, and those 25 could be from any topic. So, some like about 10 I used to do from a topic which is easy, which I remembered or I found easy, and the rest 15 I used to do from a like the tough questions. In easy, I mean that on days when I was very exhausted and I didn't feel like doing questions at all, those days I used to solve aptitude questions, like the aptitude PYQ, so that I could complete the 25 questions. So that helps bring consistency if you set a daily target. And to summarize your like the answer to your question, it's definitely you should be solving PYQs every day. And if you have completed all the PYQs which you have done till now, then you can start with the weekly quizzes, or you could do it in parallel as well. And as of how to solve the PYQs, then I used to mark the questions which I was not able to do in the first go myself, and I had to refer to the solution, or the solution on the Go website. So these questions I used to circle and I used to write, because I didn't make any notes. I didn't have long notes and short notes either. I didn't have. So the only notes I had was of questions. So if I'm learning something new from the question, I used to write it down, or what mistake I made while solving a PYQ. And it helped in revision also. For PYQs, firstly you need to start doing the PYQs only once you have completed a subject. So suppose if you're doing subject A, then once you finish the entire subject A and you start with subject B, then along with it you do the PYQs of the subject A you have done. That way you will, have one round of revision as well, and always do the PYQs topic wise. So if there are like if in computer network there are from physical and data link layer to application layer, so you should be doing it topic wise when you're doing it for the first time. So because once you finish computer network and now you're starting a new subject, so for computer network you will remember maybe application layer and transport layer, but for physical and data link or network layer, it might be possible that you don't remember it anymore now. So for that reason you do it topic wise. So when you're doing it topic wise, you could just revise a topic and then solve the PYQ, and you will also understand yourself that which topic you find it easier. And for PYQs, ideally 70% questions you should be able to do it on your own. That's like if you want to have a marker to check whether you have understood a subject. So if you have really understood a subject, then 65 to 70% questions you should be able to solve it on your own, which will not be the case when you will be solving test series, because those are actually pretty tough, I would say, because there are topic wise questions also. So from every topic, if they are picking 15 questions, so they are covering every tricky angle of that. So those test series is basically for learning new things. So for test series, don't be demotivated when you initially start giving them. But for PYQs, you have to sort of test yourself, right? So if you're not able to solve PYQs, then that means that something is missing in your knowledge. So you need to maybe watch the lectures with more focus, or see something, like identify the gap there.
Yeah, okay. So for suppose if I have finished digital logic, COA and discrete mathematics,
Yeah.
linear algebra and all those engineering mathematics. So I have not done PYQs.
Hmm.
So should I pause for say at least a week and then again,
Hmm.
continue other subjects, or okay, I can start maybe TOC or OS and parallel do this. Give more time for PYQs for the finished subjects.
So how many you have completed? Which subjects?
I've completed digital COA and mathematics part. Engineering mathematics and
Okay,
discrete
so
math.
right. So still, I would say like about 50% or more of your syllabus is still left, right? So I
Yes.
wouldn't suggest taking a complete break with lectures. I would say you could give, I would say 2 to 3 hours is enough. So in this month of July, you could target completing OS and TOC maybe, right? Or you could do TOC and maybe DSA. So one subject is theoretical and one is a bit logical, right? So pick any two subjects of your choice and target to complete these two by July end, and also give yourself a target to complete the PYQs of at least two subjects you have done. So what you could do is, if you have given 3 hours maybe a day to PYQs, I would suggest, like, it depends on your uh, like on your routine only, but I would say, like, for me, I usually did PYQs towards the evening when I didn't have enough energy to watch lectures. So what you could do is that give any dedicate any 2 to 3 hours, and then initially, if you start with the PYQs and you feel like you don't remember anything, then for the first 2 to 3 days you revise that subject, the entire long notes. So for the first 3 days in the dedicated 2 to 3 hours, you are revising the subject, and from the next day on you start the PYQs. So basically, I would suggest not pausing the lecture watching, because more than half of the syllabus is left. So you can for sure start with 2 hours a day. And if you know what happens is, when you start, if in the later part of the day, once you're finished with done with watching lectures, then when you're solving questions and you're stuck at something, right, you still know that for today you have completed the lecture module target, so you can give enough time to the lectures. Whereas what happened with me is that if in the morning only I started with questions, then there we find, especially when we start solving PYQs now, then initially we won't be able to even solve all 70%, because we have to do revision also along with and everything. So by the end of the day, the amount of lectures you have watched for your ongoing or the new subject is very less. So I used to give the second half of the day for PYQs. So that way only, for I would say still half of the day should be for your are you in college or with job, like what's your situation?
No, no, I'm not doing job. I've resigned my job. I'm totally preparing for gate.
Okay, yeah, then you will have the entire day with yourself, right? And completing the syllabus is also equally important, because I would say that it may feel less, like even I thought in August that I have seven, 7 to 8 months and there are just these many subjects, but towards the end it was a lot, and it becomes a very panicky situation towards the end. So that's definitely not a desirable condition. So still target to finish your syllabus also by October. And PYQs, I would say, will happen. Like I also started solving the PYQs only once I had completed about three subjects, because in the first two subjects you won't have any PYQs to solve, right? So once you complete two to three, only then you solve PYQs. So it's not like you are late. Just start giving at least 2 hours a day to PYQs, and you can extend it. But your priority should be still that the majority of your day goes to watching the lectures with focus, because a lot of subjects are still left.
Yes, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, and what you could do is also that you should also make a target that you're doing at least 25 questions a day. So if in maths, suppose there are linear algebra you find easy, or any but or calculus, or there is, it's pretty small. So you could do some questions of calculus and mix it up basically. So you are not getting bored with one subject, because you have completed three. So it's not like you have to solve PYQs also in a particular sequence. You can mix up the PYQs also, but I would say still do it topic wise. So at least one topic is being revised. And this thing will help you a lot. If you fix the number of questions you have to do each day, then that would be like no matter what happens, you have to solve 25 questions or 20. Like you said that number accordingly. Just see how many PYQs are there, and divide it by 30, so that in a month you complete PYQs of these three subjects, like that.
Yes, yes. Actually, I was following the 25. You
Yeah.
mentioned it in your earlier
Yeah.
mentorship sessions.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do that. Thank you.
All right. Does anyone else have a question? You can like raise your hand or put it in the chat. If there are no questions, you can leave also, so that I'll know, right? So is it possible for you to unmute yourself, Deva? Like it would be better,
And,
I would be, yeah, okay.
hello, madam.
Hi.
I'm just started the preparation right now.
Okay.
I didn't. I started with CN, I'm third year of BTech.
Okay.
So it was easy to manage the college also. So
Yeah.
how, what way to complete the subject? Like that, we should know is the subject is completed or not. What, how to prepare our timetable, our schedule of month targets.
Yeah. Right. So, firstly, how is college like for you? Like, do you have to be present from 9 to 5, or is it just a few classes you have to attend? How hectic is
It's
that for you?
like 5 to 6 hours daily.
Okay. All right. So for you, you have just started, right? So one thing is that firstly, I would say that you should definitely be targeting the upcoming GATE exam only, because you are in third year. So at some point you might feel that, I have another attempt. So don't take it lightly. That's the first thing. Okay. And for you, you have started with CN. I would suggest you pick another subject as well, because the lectures are very theoretical. So it is possible that if you're watching just computer networks, then you might get slightly bored with it, and then it would be tough for you to put that amount of focus into it, and that would reduce your speed also. So you should pick up two subjects. That's my first suggestion. And two subjects doesn't mean that you have to study both in a day particularly. It depends. Like you could do computer network for 2 to 3 days, and once you feel slightly bored, and you have completed a subtopic, then you could do DBMS, suppose, for the next 2 to 3 days. So, firstly, start with two subjects, and whatever these two subjects are, I would suggest that see, your first target should be that you're completing the subject by October end, like before November. All 10 subjects of yours should be complete. If we include like entire discrete and engineering maths in one, then there are 10 subjects. So by before November, these 10 subjects should be complete, along with just a second, yeah, along with the revision as well as PYQs. Right now, for that you have to see how many subjects you have to complete per month. You have to calculate how many months are there till October, and to finish 10 subjects, how many you have to do per month. So if you're just starting, for now, your entire, like at least for this month, I would say that you won't have to get some extra time out for questions, because since you're just starting, then you won't really have any particular topic to solve PYQs for. And solve PYQs only once you have completed a subject. Don't do it alongside, because a lot of PYQs and similar questions are already covered in the lecture modules. So for now, just watch the lectures with full focus. I would say if there is in the month of July, you should be targeting to complete at least two subjects entirely. Set a bit, tougher targets, because only then you will be able to achieve it. So a bit strict with yourself. And now, once you have done the two subjects for this month, may say you're doing computer network and DBMS, then after that, from August, you start two new subjects, and along with these, you start doing the PYQs of CN and DBMS. All right, just a second.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
right. So that's the approach. And so why I'm saying that your syllabus should be completed by October is because the main questions which will actually help. See, you can't solve any tough questions if you don't have the understanding. And for understanding, completing in the entire subject, the entire theory with full understanding and PYQs is very important. Only then you can move on to the higher level of questions. And those like higher level questions, I mean the questions which are there in the test series and weekly quizzes. Because if you want, the good rank, I would say, is basically determined by these tests only. Because in these tests, every question you will learn a lot. These tests are not to test your knowledge, that you are giving a test of, say, a weekly quiz of computer network, or a subject wise test of CN, and you scored poor in it. That doesn't mean that you're not good in computer network. How you have to look at it is that you have given the subject wise test, you could do, suppose, only 3 questions out of 15 correct. So but for the remaining whatever questions, the remaining 12 questions which you were not able to solve, you have to go in depth and understand the solution and analyze why you were not able to do it, and understand the approach for that those questions, right? So now these new 13 questions, so you have learned from these, so you are way ahead of what you were before. That's how you have to look at it. Basically, there's a lot to learn, honestly, from these tests. So, and I was able to complete the syllabus about in November end, I would say, which is why I was not able to attempt all the subject wise tests which were there in the test series. So maybe if I would have given, then my rank would have been a lot better. So for you, I would suggest completing the syllabus on time, so that you could do these questions. Now, if it's also very important that for now you don't think about gate and the number of questions you have to do, or anything else. For now, when you're watching the lecture, your focus should be in understanding the topics very well, because these will not just help you with the gate exam. There are many other exams also happening, there are many interviews that are happening. This knowledge will always be there with you till the time you are with computer science. The lectures are that good and theoretical. Now, since you're just starting, if there are compact courses in any subject, then instead of the full course, you could go with the compact course as well. It has the same amount of knowledge, it's just, I would say, designed in a better way, since you have if you would have lesser number of time. Notes also, I would say that there is no need to make the long notes, because you have the annotated notes available. So once you watch the lectures, I don't know, yeah, if you have seen any, because you have just started, but if the PDF that you're studying from in the lecture, that same PDF is given to you after that same PDF you have.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
there is no point making the long notes. In fact, because you're studying from that PDF, you will even understand better. And when you are making notes, a lot of time would be wasted in writing every single thing, and you may even miss some of the details and questions. But in PDF there is everything, so when you revise that, you won't miss out even on a single subtopic. And instead of just writing all those things which make no sense, it's better that you just sit with a rough notebook and pen, solve every question that's been given in between the lecture, whatever sir is given. So your focus should be just understanding, it should not be making notes and all, because notes are anyways available. So you save that time of making notes and everything, and that you will utilize later in solving PYQs and questions. Also, another suggestion would be for mathematics, don't take it up all at once and don't leave it for the end also, because it has good weightage. So you can't skip it. You can't skip any subject actually. All 10 you have to complete. But since maths is very lengthy because it has multiple topics and not all of them are related, say there's calculus, probability, linear algebra, then in discrete maths also they set theory, graph theory, group theory, and all these are not really related. So these, what you can do is, once you have completed computer network and DBMS, then you can maybe do probability and calculus, or one subject calculus and one you could do group theory. So do topics in between from maths, right? So it won't be that heavy, otherwise you will be giving 1 to 2 months and only one subject, that is maths, will be completed. So that's not worth it. And even if you leave towards the end, I can guarantee that you will not be able to complete maths then. So the only way to do it is that you do it subject or topic wise in between. So to summarize, what you have to do now is that you pick two subjects, and also you'll have to give a lot of time in your day and a lot of focus, and you will have to sacrifice on a lot of things as well. So I hope you're prepared for that also, because you're in third year. So I would like to tell you that, if for gate exam, which is actually going to be actually preparing for the gate exam will be very beneficial for you. There would be so many options. You would be there are multiple PSUs also recruiting. Every any other exam around this is actually based on the syllabus of gate. So this time is very crucial for you. So just focus on watching the lectures, do two subjects at a time, and once you have completed them, pick new two subjects, and then you solve the along with it. Then you take out 1 hour or 2 hour time in your day and dedicate that to solving PYQs of the two subjects that you have already done before. If you want to make notes, the most you could do is either make short notes or make a notebook for writing the concepts that you learn through solving PYQ. So if there's any PYQ you were not able to solve, then you just write that. Anyways, PYQs you will start doing only once you're done with two subjects of yours. Now, also try to complete your syllabus by October end. And once you're done with about 60% of your syllabus, then you start giving the test series. And for now, if suppose you have done COA and CN and DBMS, or whatever two subjects you're picking, if you are able to complete your target accurately in July, you're able to complete, and in August you start two new subjects along with PYQs. Then in between you can also take a random day out and give a weekly quiz of CN or DBMS. So like that. So your weekly quizzes are also being done along with, because you have to do things in parallel. Otherwise, towards the end, there will be a lot of things. I would say your entire December and January is going to go in mock test and revision. So all the subject wise tests, weekly tests, you have to make sure to do it parallelly while you are completing your syllabus. But again, since you're just starting, this month should go only in completing two subjects in depth properly with full understanding. The priority right now is just understanding the concepts. That's very important. So that should be your approach for now.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Okay, another question. Is it possible, like this, whoever has messaged me right now, is it possible for you to like unmute yourself? I'll ask you to unmute if possible, then you can just unmute. Okay, it's not possible. Fine, I'll read out the question. So you have completed C, DS, Algo, Digital, TOC, LA in your last attempt. Now you have started Computer Network, DBMS, DM in parallel. Can you give me any suggestion? I'm in confusion that I complete syllabus this year or not. This is long term. So are you like taking a drop this year, or it's your attempt with fourth year, and do you have a job? I need to know some like first some like background. Just let me know how you're preparing. Okay, so you have just completed your final year, right? So first of all, definitely it is possible. So I was preparing about the same time. In June, I started preparing last year for GATE for the first time. My reason was that I didn't get a job that I was happy with. So that's why I started preparing for GATE. That was my initial motivation. So I started in June, and that was the first time I even thought about GATE. So I had no idea how the exam is or whatever. So still I was doing a job also. So firstly, if you should be very confident that it is possible. The only thing is that you will have to give a lot of time. And with gate exam, it's not the questions that will come are not very hard. The only place where you could be lagging is that, because see, as you told that you were not able to complete your syllabus last time. So my understanding of why this attempt was not that good was because you didn't complete your syllabus. And I would really say that every subject is important. You can't think of skipping even a topic, right? Because almost all subjects are important. They are related to computer science very much, and every topic within that is also important, right? Could you also, like, were you preparing the subjects which you have done? Have you done it from Go classes itself? Okay, so see, that's even great because when I was preparing, I completed my subjects from a YouTube playlist from elsewhere, and later when I started with the test series, I there was a particular topic which I did not even heard of before. I was in compiler design. It was a basic block and liveliness analysis question, and this topic was not even there in the playlist from where I completed compiler design. So that's when I the only video I found was on Go classes. So that's the first time I came across it, and that was in October end or somewhere October November. And that's when I realized that even from the subjects that I've completed already, there are many topics which are very important which I haven't even done. This time a question came from liveliness analysis in my exam, which was of 2 marks, and every mark makes a major difference. That's why I asked you. So if you have prepared from Go classes, that means that at least concept wise, whatever subjects you have completed, you won't have to watch the lectures again from you won't have to start again. You just have to, just a second. So yes, Sunny, I've read you. I'll just pick up your question after this. Okay. So yeah, basically, that's great that you have completed the subject from a good place. You don't have to worry about it, right? You don't I know it's a we get a bit disappointed and demotivated when we really prepare for an exam and it doesn't go well. But see, there were logical reasons. It was not like you didn't do good. You were doing it with your final year and your syllabus was not complete. So that reason can be fixed very easily. So I would say, just a second, I need to check what you asked, right? You had a confusion that your syllabus would be completed this year or not. So yes, it would be completed, right? CA and DBMS and discrete you are doing in parallel. So that's fine. You focus on understanding the concepts, I would say, again for now, because all the test series, the PYQs, every question will make sense only if you have done the syllabus properly, right? If you are in a situation where you're just watching lectures and towards the end there is a conceptual gap, then that won't be possible to fix that easily. So this time that you are having right now, instead of the confusion, the doubts, it's better that you just watch the lectures properly with understanding. Don't overthink about around anything, because it will only waste your time furthermore. And I really assure you that you will be able to complete your syllabus. Now you have your entire day to yourself, right? So the only thing you have to do is stay away from distractions, because you are now dedicatedly preparing for gate exam. Don't waste a single day. Don't waste time on phone, on any social media or anything, because later on you will feel really bad when your exam won't doesn't go well. I would say that that feeling is the worst. The pain that we have with discipline and following the same routine every day, that is not that doesn't hurt that much, which we feel when the exam doesn't go well. So and when you see your result and it's not good. So just like for me, my biggest motivation, like when I started preparing, was I thought that if I open my result and it's not good, how I would feel. And after that, that was initially when I started preparing, and after that I was never, I was very disciplined after that. So the only thing you need right now is discipline and consistency. And you have to watch the lectures. You have to do the PYQs of the subjects that you have done already. Firstly, start with revision. Revise the entire long notes. You have to revise every topic and subtopic. Go through the annotated notes, or if you have your own notes, but every, like, the entire long notes you need to revise. Do the PYQs of those subjects. Along with it, like parallelly only, daily you have to do the PYQs and revision. And at the same time, daily you have to watch lectures of the subjects that you're doing right now, CNDBMS or whatever subject is left, you have to complete by October. Your target is that you have to complete the entire syllabus. all module, all PYQs, along with 2 rounds of revision at least, of the long notes, and weekly quizzes also if possible. All this should be done by October, and there is sufficient time. Time wise, it's sufficient. You just have to be very disciplined, and you have to give a lot of effort into it. That's what I would say. So you will be able to complete your syllabus. Do you have any other question? All right, welcome. Just be consistent. I would say the one thing you need to crack Gate is discipline and consistency, because time you have a lot, and you have also completed modules from a lot for a lot of subjects. I would say from Go classes itself. You just need to revise, solve questions. So suppose whatever subjects you have completed before, right? You have done CDS, you have done TOC also, and Algo. I mean, still, I would say half of the syllabus is left, but for whatever you have done, revise it, solve the PYQ, and give the subject wise and topic wise test as well. Give just all the questions for those subjects and do the new ones parallelly. If you have the entire day to yourself, that's a lot of time. You can section it into multiple parts. You could do new topics plus PYQs plus revision. You can section your day for all these tasks if you are taking a drop and you have the full day to yourself. All right. So the next question is, just a second. How and when to start test series and PYQs. So PYQs you have to do along with your completion of the subjects only. So what I mean by that is that, see, if you're just starting your preparation, then though you have done zero subjects till now, so what PYQs you will solve? PYQs also you don't have to do it for the subject. Like if you're watching a particular subject, say computer network, then don't do the PYQ of computer network along with it only. Because what happens is that already a lot of PYQs are covered in the modules itself, which sir is teaching from. So there is no point, right? If you do PYQs later on, then that's like a good revision. So for now, if you have completed any subject, which is that you have seen all the modules, then whatever subject is left, give time to that. See, unless and until you have done only less than 50% of your syllabus, that means major portion of your day you have to give in watching lectures. Say so if you have a whole day to yourself, about 7 hours to 7 to 8 hours should go to watching lectures, and 2 to 3 hours should go in solving PYQs. But if you have done almost 80% of your syllabus, then see, it changes, right? Because there is just few subjects left. Then you do lectures for 3 to 4 hours, and remaining time you solve PYQ. So that you have to divide, because you have to complete your syllabus by October, right? Just a second. Yes, it's almost 50%. Yeah, right. So if it's almost 50% you have done, I would say still complete two more by 50%. I would assume that out of 10 subjects you have done 5. So if you have done 5 subjects, then for test series you start solving, maybe just complete one or two more subjects. It depends, I would say, excluding PYQ. So yeah, see, then firstly you have to do the PYQs. If from 10 subjects you have done 5, again I would say that you maybe half of your day you give to watching the lectures of the new subjects, and the remaining half you do the PYQs of the subjects that you have completed earlier. Now if you're not able to solve 70% of PYQs on your own, that means that there is still a gap in the knowledge gap, in the sense that you have to revise the long notes properly first. So can you just name the subjects quickly which you have done? Because I would say it changes a bit if you have done C and DS, because that's comparatively easier than the subjects like COA and computer network operating system, right? So it depends on that as well. You have done C, DS, compiler design. What is DS like? Discrete DSA? What is DS? Okay, so you have mentioned data structure 2 times. Maybe that's algo. So you have done C, DSA, and compiler design. So that's just 3 subjects that you have done till now, right? So it's just 3 subjects. So 7 subjects are still remaining for you. So major again, you should be giving your 7 hours a day at least to watching lectures, and then after the 7 hours, pick any time, maybe 3 hours, because you have done C and DS. So it's not like it's very theoretical and you have to completely revise a lot of things. For these, I would say that you can directly start solving the PYQs. I would say C programming, so if you have just done once, then you will be able to solve PYQs. There's nothing to memorize over there. In DSA, there are the data structures also you will be able to do. I would say that there are few algos that you might have to revise. Basically, trees and graph you may have to revise, because in binary tree and those topics there are multiple formulas. But for linked list stack and all these, there are very few PYQs. I would say there are about only 10 in linked list stack and each of these topics. So for this, you won't have to do any revision. So you pick up two CS subjects also. I would say that if you have done compiler design, you start with TOC. Along with TOC, maybe you pick computer network. So you're doing TOC and computer network now. This means that for either you could do TOC for 2 to 3 days. Once one entire subtopic is completed and you're bored with TOC, then for the next 2 to 3 days you do computer network. So divide it in that way, because if in a same day you are doing multiple topics, then it would be hard for you to understand as well. So you need some flow also, but at the same time you need to make sure that you're not losing focus and reducing your speed. So pick two subjects, and then 2 hours a day you give to solving PYQs. Maybe towards the end of the day, I would suggest, because if you're starting in the morning, then if you delay solving questions, or if your speed is low, then your important time of watching lectures would get reduced. So at the end of the day, when you have watched enough amount of lectures, which is about 7 to 8 hours when you have watched, and towards the end, because C and DS is a pretty logical subject. It's not like you'll have to be very focused, and it's not very theoretical, right? How many questions should I target to solve daily? See, you should be targeting to solve as many. I would say in C there is approx 130 or 150 questions are there in C programming alone. For DSA also, in stack, linked list, see what you could do is that I would say that if you have done C and DSA, stack, linked list, Q, these three subjects you can complete in, like, topics you can complete in 2 days itself. What would take time is graph and trees, because most probably you will have to revise the long notes of these two subtopics. And then in C programming there are about 150 questions. So I would say, because a lot of them are similar also, and C programming is a very logical subject. You won't have to get into much theory and everything. So, and you won't have to really revise much also for that. So, you could do only 25. You could do, I would say, you can target about, I would say, 25 questions a day. If that's a lot, start with 20 and then increase to 25, then 30 or whatever, right? So, don't focus on the number of hours in that case, that 2 hours mein kitne hone chahiye, because you know what? When you start, it's different for everyone, right? It could, like, there were days when I thought I had done C programming like when I just started. Since I was preparing for placement, I thought that C and DS so I would be very good at. But once I went to solving the questions, I was not able to solve. I would say, most of it I was not able to solve, even in C programming, because it's not like I had to watch a lot of lectures. Only a few videos I had to watch to understand what was happening there, because it's very theoretical and it focuses on different things, right? It's not just writing a program. So just a few things are required. If you have completed that, you won't have to revise anything. But initially it may be that aapko, you are taking much longer to solve a particular question, but once you build a flow of it, then the time will get reduced. So instead of focusing on the number of hours, you focus on solving a particular number of questions. So for C and DS, target on solving maybe 20, start with 20 questions a day and move to 30. But your target should be that in this month of July, you must complete the PYQs of these three subjects, which is DSA, C, and compiler design. You have to complete it, right? And see why I say that solving C is comparatively easier if you have finished it, because you won't need to revise. But once you start solving question of compiler design, you will notice that maybe you're forgetting things. So then you will have to revise the notes of compiler design and then solve the PYQs. That usually happens. So, but anyways, target to complete the all PYQs of the three subjects and do two new subjects entirely in the month of July, at least, right? That should be a minimum target. So then when you go to August, there would be 5 subjects remaining. Suppose, see, the 10 subjects, there are 10 only, right, including maths. So for maths also you can do one or two topics, like and for discrete maths, if there is a compact course, then go ahead with that. because if it doesn't matter how many hours are there, even the compact courses are complete in itself, so you have to save time everywhere so you are able to solve questions. So for PYQs, as I told you, do it every day. And I suggested you a target also. Just to tell you again, in the month of July you do two new subjects, and the lengthy ones like COA, computer network, any such subjects you have to do. In July, you have to complete all the lecture modules and you have to complete all the PYQs, every single one of them, of CDSA and compiler design. Because you have done compiler design, TOC would be easy for you. So you could, do that. Yes, definitely go with the compact course for discrete mathematics. I did group theory, set theory, all these topics I did from the marathon lectures which are there on YouTube, which are like about 3 to 4 and of 3 to 4 hours each. So it doesn't matter from Go classes only, of course. So every video, it is completed itself. So it don't think that long courses are better or anything. Just do the compact course also. Your target should be understanding the thing you're studying from. And then about the test series which you asked, see, because you have done only three subjects till now, complete at least three more, I would say. And the lengthier ones, like three you have done, do TOC, computer network operating system, COA, digital logic, any of these, complete at least three more. And then you can get the test series and you can start solving the subject wise and topic wise test. So once though you have completed your syllabus, one time, say compiler design you have done. Now one time you will be revising while solving the PYQs, because when you see that you are not able to solve PYQs, don't see the solution for every question. If you are not able to solve, that means you don't remember things. So then you revise the entire long notes of compiler design and then solve the questions of compiler. Then you should be able to solve 70%. Ideally, you won't have, you should not be looking for the solution for most of the questions, right? So this is one revision of compiler design. Now, any single day, if you feel that you're forgetting compiler again, then you sit on, take entire half day of Saturday and again the first half of Sunday, and this whole time revise the entire long notes of compiler design, because you'll have to revise multiple times. And revision has to happen daily, right? So the 2 days you could do compiler design, the next 2 days you could revise some other subject, and all this should be in parallel with your new subject, right? You have to do it parallelly. You can't take a gap from watching lectures. So say on whatever random day you choose to decide compiler design, after that you give the topic wise and subject wise test of compiler design from the test series. And in between also, now if you feel like about 28th July tak you did most of your PYQs, then in the remaining 10 days, you could, in the hours that you took out for PYQ, you could do the weekly quizzes of CD and CDS that way, and the rest of the time you watch lectures. So you have to do everything in parallel, but basically by October, all 10 subjects along with revision and PYQ should be complete. And once you do about 7 subjects, then you can take the test series. uh, Test series I'm suggesting for later only, because right now your priority is completing the syllabus. So if most of the times you're watching lectures, then after PYQs you won't have much time left. So practically test series is possible only once you complete 70% of your syllabus. And test series doesn't mean full length exactly. Firstly, you do the topic wise and subject wise test as well. Those questions are really good, so you have to attempt those. That's why complete your syllabus by October, so you have time to solve good questions which will help you increase your rank. And for sure, if you do these questions, most of them, then your rank would be definitely under 100 if you're able to solve the test series and everything, because there is so much to learn from these questions. All right. um, so I will just go through the chat. So one is, I have a doubt that how to make notes now, what should write and how to revise and from where. So for notes, I would say, Deva, that you should not be making long notes. As I said, you refer to the annotated notes or the topper notes which are there, which are complete, right? If I talk about me, then I did not understand anyone else's handwriting. So but annotated notes work the best, because basically you're studying from those notes, right? Just a second. All right. So basically, you're studying from these PDFs, right? So I once say one, if you have done 3 modules today, I would say that towards the end of the day, just go through the annotated notes PDF of all these 3 lectures. It won't take you much time because you've just studied from it, and if you look at it, you will get it easily. Because if you don't do it now, then later when you come back to revising these PDFs, then it will feel very messy because it seems like there are 90 slides, 150 slides, somewhere there are about 200 slides, but it's not very hard to revise. Just the slides are long because it's kind of a PPT, right? It's not a full PDF. Just a second. Yeah. So these are not PDFs, right? It's PPT. So don't get worried or scared when you look at the long number of slides. Just make sure that whatever lecture you're watching, it will take you 10 minutes to maximum to go through the PDF or the PPT which you get, right? It won't take you much longer. And what I did was that I made folder for all 10 subjects and I downloaded the PDF subject wise. So for computer network, I had all the PDFs in sequence. And when you revise, one round of revision for long notes is extremely important. So what you will do is that any random day you open all PDFs of computer network, and one after the other you go through the entire PDF. So that you will have to do along with PYQs, questions, anything long notes ka revision you will have to do. So this is what you will do. If you want to make short notes, then the strategy should be to make the short notes along with watching the lecture itself. Don't wait to finish the lecture and then make the short notes. I did not make short notes because honestly I didn't have much time. Since I started in June end, right, and it was the first time I was preparing for gate, so I didn't focus on making any notes. I just had the feeling that because I looked through the PYQs, uh, I looked through 2 to 3 PYQs before I started preparing, just to get an understanding of how the gate exam is. And what I felt was that it's not extremely tough. It's tough in the sense that there's a huge syllabus and you need to be very consistent. So what I understood after going through PYQs, like the entire paper maybe of 25, 24, was that you know understanding the concepts is the priority, which is why I did not make any notes. And I focused. Actually, I did start with COA because that was the first subject. I made notes for that, but then I realized that it's a lot of waste of time. So I referred to the PDFs only. And I would suggest the same for you because if there was anything useful out of making notes, then I would have suggested because you are in third year. So ideally, you have one more attempt, right? So you still have time, but there's actually nothing you will gain out of making the notes because there is no point, it's already available. Short notes could make sense. You can note. I had a notebook on which I wrote the concepts I learned from the PYQs or any question which I was not able to solve. But notes make no sense to you. Use that time in solving other questions, because if with making notes, for sure you will be taking double the time than watching the lecture, and it would make you exhausted as well. So definitely don't go for notes. All right. So another question is, I am giving TOC Decidability weekly quiz, but in some questions the hidden concept is not click in mind how to overcome. Okay, so see again, with these weekly quizzes, the purpose is to understand new concepts and to develop your problem solving skills. Because in gate C, a few questions would be those which are of standard pattern and you will be able to attempt. Some questions will be tricky, and I can guarantee that these tricky questions will not come out of the weekly quizzes and the test series. Somewhere or the other you will have already solved this question in these test series, okay, which is why it is made. So the point of the weekly quiz is and the test series is that you find challenging questions which you are not able to solve on your own. So initially when you look at a question, don't just seek okay, matlab aise, don't just look at it and try to memorize. In decidability, if there are whatever rules are there, just try to make sense of it. As you say, whatever hidden concept you are finding, it's okay if it doesn't click, because it's just you're just in July right now. There are many months, and this problem solving skill where you will these hidden concepts will click to you will come over the months only. That's the whole point of solving questions over. Even when I just started, I used to score very poor in the initial test which I was giving, but the thing see, what you have to do right now is that when you give a quiz or any test which you are giving, after that you see which questions you were not able to solve. Even the ones you were able to solve, just go still, go through the solution on Gate Overflow and read through the comments if you find a new approach or any concept behind it. If yours and the correct concept were same, then that's fine. But the questions you were not able to solve, for each one of them, you go through it, give the sufficient time it needs to. When you're just starting it, for some questions, it can even take half an hour to understand, because you read it multiple times and we still don't understand it. But we have to connect the dots and go backwards and then back and forth here and there, and then we understand that, oh, what this sentence means. So initially you will have to give that time. The only right thing you can do right now is that spend that much time on the questions. And if there is a new concept that you're learning, if there's a new rule which you're coming across, or if there's a new fact that is there which you didn't know earlier, then write these things down. Don't make notes. Write these things down, whatever you're learning from these questions. And if you feel like a question was very tricky, then add it to the favorite sections or anywhere where you can access it later. Just a second. Yeah. Okay, so that's how you should be doing for since you specifically asked for TOC decidability. For now, write down the concept so that later on you could revise it. But if you look at that way, that now if this question comes in exam, you will be able to solve. So you are one question closer to the exam. So whatever concepts you are learning, just appreciate yourself and be happy that you learned something new, and write it down. And don't just memorize it, but once you read it, just see that what were the rules which are there, what are the concepts in decidability. And like, were you forgetting some topics? As I understand that this hidden concept, you mean that sometimes we maybe have to modify a formula, or we have to just think in a bit different direction. It's not like that we didn't know that concept. We knew it, but maybe slightly tweaking of it was required, but we are not able to do it. So this will only come with practicing many questions. So initially it's fine if you're not able to do it. Just understand it, make sure that you know it, and you're confident that now if this question comes in Gate, you will be able to solve it. Doesn't matter if you're not you if it didn't click to you while solving the question. As long as you're understanding it after spending time on it, that is really good to go. And definitely, if you keep solving the weekly quizzes and the test series, the subject wise and topic wise test, then towards the end, after 2 to 3 months, it's not like after there's a specific number that after 5 tests you will be able to solve. It will be able to come only after maybe 1 or 2 entire month where you solve these questions regularly. Then your mind will automatically be trained to solve these tricky questions, where you will be able to think differently on your own. You will be able to visualize the question and apply things yourself and tweak the formulas yourself. So that will happen, right? So that was what happens in test series only. Initially I got like about 28 marks in the first mock test I gave, but as in when you give the test, there are 65 questions in the full length mock test that I revised. So after 2 to 3 mock tests, I was able to do good automatically. And these are of very high level. AIMTs are of the level of Gate, so there you will automatically do good if you have done enough practice beforehand, because it's a skill you will develop. But for now, the most you can do is solve the questions wholeheartedly. Just don't memorize the solution. Look at how you approach there, and your focus should be on understanding the solution. That's it. Okay, so Deva, you have asked a follow-up question, means that you have to uh, go on the rough while watching and revise the annotated notes at the night once, and revise from the topper's notes and annotated notes. You don't have to revise from the topper note and annotated notes both. You can just follow. If if you're doing from the annotated notes, that's like fine. You don't have to do it from both. You just have to revise from one place. If you choose to do the annotated notes, because it depends. Like for me, I was not able to understand anyone else's handwriting at all. So others note was not an option for me. So if you are able to understand that, then that's fine. You could definitely go through the notes. But if you choose to revise from the annotated notes, right, it would be easy. I would say it would be very easy to revise from annotated notes as well. But an effort you'll have to put for that is that just after finishing a lecture, you just go through the PDF once. Otherwise later it will become messy. So to avoid that, just go through the PDF once right now, just after watching the lecture, because it will take you only 5 minutes, because you have just studied from that itself. Sir has just taught on that in slide itself. So it won't take you much time, and later when you will revise, you will see the benefit of that then. Okay. Another question. Is there any other question? I think there was one. Just a second. I will try to find it. Okay, so there is one question by Neha, and you have asked, did you complete all the subjects or did you skip any? It's my first attempt. I am in my fourth year. So no, I completed all my subjects, and I would really, because since I have given the exam and I have an understanding of subjects, there is no subject or no topic which you can skip. You have to complete everything. More or less everything has a similar weightage, but anyways, if you're, see, if you're just preparing to qualify, then you would do the math that okay, 15 marks is for aptitude, then 7 approx 17 marks would come from this DSA and everything. But if you want a top college, or if you want to give any exam of PSU or anything, then there is so much difference in even point zero 0.03 marks. Like 1 marks would keep you like maybe hundreds of rank apart, honestly. So if your target is getting a good college or doing something useful with this gate exam, not just merely qualifying it, then you can't skip any subject. You have to complete all of them. And maths is one of the lengthiest. Even in maths, all topics are important. So maths, it could happen that in, like, in the worst case, that some topic of maths could be left. So that you can still, actually no, I would not even suggest that. You should be doing everything. Maths, I would say you do it topic wise. Say you have done LA right now, then after a few days do probability, like that. So don't leave entire maths towards the end, otherwise you will end up leaving maths, and that has a lot of weightage. So do it topic wise. Yes, there are about 7 months. See, so that's where you have to strategize. Since you have completed your fourth year, if you're taking a drop, then you will have the whole day to yourself. I would tell you, I started in June. I had about the same 7 to 8 months, and I was preparing with a job also. But I would say that in my BTech, I did good. Like my CGPA was 8.5, so I did prepare for the, semester exams properly. Like I used to follow just the basic like YouTube resources, like the ones we used for semester exams. So, but I did have an understanding basically when I started preparing. It was not like I didn't study at all in my BTech and everything is new to me. I was, aware of the terminologies and all. So if that's the same case for you or whatever it is, there is a lot of time. Are you taking a drop, or are you going to prepare along with some job or anything? Neha, could you tell that? Yes, Neha, is it like, would you just tell if you are preparing? Okay, you are in your fourth year. Okay, so with college also, I would say there would be time for you, with see, what you could do is, see, I was preparing in college. You can still skip college some days, or you could take your, maybe a tablet or your phone, whatever, and watch lecture on that. If any lecture is missing, or if you have gap between lectures, you could go to the library. So these are things you could do, and you will have to do to complete your syllabus. But it's for sure that if you are regular every day, and you cut off on everything which is going out, using mobile phone even for 10 minutes, you don't have to use your phone. So, if with this routine, you will be able to complete your syllabus. There are just 10. You start with two subjects. And, if there is in July, August, September, October, so these are 4 months. And if you do two subjects in each month, you will complete eight subjects by October. And two subjects is minimal. Like it not, you'll have to do it anyhow. So, with this, you will be able to do eight subjects by October. Now, I would suggest that these eight subjects, you leave. Uh, C and DSA, like apart from C and DSA, do the rest of the eight subjects, do two per month. So if in this month you are completing, say, computer network and TOC, then in the next month you start operating system and DBMS, and along with it, start giving just 1 hour a day for PYQs. See, so, when August is done, you will be able to do the COA and DBMS, and you will also complete the PYQs of TOC and CN, which you did in this current month. So that's how you have to do. And in October, eight subjects are done, and the two which you will be leaving is C and DSA, because these are still logical and, possible to complete in sort of a rush as well. The rest are very theoretical, and you have to be very focused while doing those. So and once you're watching the lectures, see, I was watching all the lectures on 3x speed. Mostly I did understand. Some lectures were very fast because I was, so if you find it fast, then at least I would say watch on 2x. At least you will be able to understand. I have to feel like 1x is very slow, so 2x is the minimum I watch on anyways. So I think on the Go Classes app 3x is not possible, but still start watching in 2x speed. Don't make any notes. Just when you're watching a lecture, sit with a rough notebook, and if there's any formula, just write it down. Sir Sachin sir and Deepak sir, both they mention it sometimes, if especially in maths. So when you're studying lectures from Sachin sir, whenever a formula comes, just write it down, or whatever questions are coming in between, just solve it. So basically just sit with a rough notebook, watch on 2x speed, and your entire focus should be that you want to gain knowledge from the lecture. When you're watching lecture, don't think about gate exam or cutoffs or anything at all. Otherwise you will just mess things up. So see, I just told you a plan that would work. By If you do 2 subjects per month, then by October, because you have July, August, September, October, so in 4 months you do 8 subjects, and the ones which are left are C and DSA, and some topics of maths could be remaining. See, maths is very lengthy, so you do the major ones like linear algebra, probability, ye sab, you do it in between. So if you're doing 2 subjects in this month of July, then make sure you do probability, calculus, just fit it in between, right? Or just maybe in one day you try, or in 2 days you try to complete graph theory or group theory. As small topics you try to complete sets. So these things are very basic. So mathematics you put topics in between. So this is how you do 8 subjects by October, and then you start with the test series. And see, in October you're doing 8 subjects along with PYQs also. So with PYQs, you have done it. Compiler design, I didn't have it. What do you mean by that? Like, I didn't have it, as in I didn't understand you, Neha. So, as I was saying, that by October, you complete the subjects along with revision and PYQs also. See, if you didn't have it in your college, that doesn't matter because it is in the syllabus of GATE exam, and it is a very important subject as well. So, you have to do compiler design. You will see it in the course, right? You can do it from there. Like compiler design, I feel like it's there in the CS syllabus. But anyways, if it's not, then it doesn't really matter if it's there or not. You have the Go classes, the entire syllabus and modules are there. You have to complete it. So basically, by October, please make sure to revise also every single day, because if you are doing 2 subjects right now, suppose computer network and operating system, and if you have not revised it, then if by October you have not revised it, then it is as good as not doing it. It would be the same, that like you have not done it. So please revise the long notes at least twice, because these subjects are very theoretical. It's not hard, but it's just very lengthy, and you need to remember everything. So from COA also, it starts with simple concepts like addressing modes, and I don't know till like what in depth it goes. So you really have to revise it. So by October, just do 2 subjects per month, revise frequently, do PYQs, and then you will have November, December, and Jan, 3 months to do the test series. And again, another round of revision. And C and DSA would be very easy to do along with it. So that's a plan that you could follow. Okay, so but again, Neha, you'll have to be very, very consistent. See, you can, it's a very important year for you. You will be graduating like next year, and you should, you have to do good in gate exam. If so, of course, just make sure to give all your time. Again, it's not easy, but you have to give time. That would be very important for you. All right. So the last question can be by Kuldeep. Do you want to unmute yourself?
Yes, hello.
Hi, Kuldeep.
Hi. Hi.
Yeah.
Uh, मेरा क्वेश्चन था टाइम टेबल से।
हाँ. Hmm.
मेरा ये फर्स्ट फर्स्ट पहली बार मैं गेट के लिए प्रिपरेशन कर रहा हूँ।
हाँ.
मैंने बीसीए एमसीए किया हुआ है इन साइबर सिक्योरिटी।
Okay.
एमसीए में स्पेशलाइजेशन
हाँ.
था।
Okay.
तो मैंने जस्ट 1 डेज पहले ज्वाइन किया है। तो
Hmm.
टाइम टेबल गो क्लास का सिलेबस तो काफी पूरा ही
Hmm.
कवर किया है। तो सिलेबस कवर करने के लिए टाइम टेबल क्या रखूं, कितने आवर पर डे दूं तो जिससे पूरा सिलेबस कवर हो जाए ऑन टाइम।
तो आप अभी जस्ट स्टार्ट कर रहे हो राइट? इससे पहले आपने गेट का नहीं पढ़ा था?
नहीं पढ़ा था कभी, नहीं, फर्स्ट बार है।
हाँ, ठीक है। और आप फुल टाइम अभी गेट का ही प्रिपेयर कर रहे हो?
हाँ, मैं जॉब भी कर रहा हूँ और
ओके।
प्रिपरेशन भी कर रहा हूँ।
ओके, देन जॉब में आपको लाइक ऑल 5 डेज जाना पड़ता है या फिर कुछ ऐसे वर्क फ्रॉम होम या ऐसा कुछ भी है?
5 डेज जाना पड़ता है।
ओके, सी टाइम टेबल का मैं बोलूंगी दैट एक्चुअली आप जितने घंटे दे सकते हो मैक्सिमम उतना देना है। ऐसे कोई फिक्स टाइम टेबल, जब मैं भी प्रिपेयर करी थी जॉब के साथ तो कुछ दिन लाइक जब मैंने जस्ट जॉब ज्वाइन करी थी तब मैं आके काफी, क्योंकि मेरे लिए न्यू रूटीन था वो, तो मैं बहुत एग्जॉस्टेड फील करती थी। तो स्टार्टिंग में जैसे किसी किसी दिन जब मुझे बहुत ही एग्जॉस्टिंग लग रहा है तो मैं सिर्फ ये तो मेरा था कि रोज पढ़ना है, तो कुछ दिन में भी मैंने सिर्फ 1.5 घंटे ही पढ़ाई की हो कि बस एक ही लेक्चर देखा और उसके बाद फिर मैं सोने चली गई हूँ। तो इट ऐसा कोई फिक्स टाइम टेबल नहीं है, बट आपको मैक्सिमम पढ़ना है। अगर किसी दिन में भी मैंने लीव लिया है तो मैं सुबह से उठ के रात तक सिर्फ पढ़ ही रही होती हूँ। इवन मेरा वीकेंड पे ये रूटीन था कि मैं सुबह उठ रही हूँ और जब तक मुझे रात को सोने जाने तक मैं सिर्फ पढ़ाई ही कर रही हूँ। और सिर्फ जैसे जो नेसेसरी ब्रेक्स होते हैं कि खाना खाना हो वटेवर, उसके लिए फिर आप ब्रेक ले रहे हो, बट उसके अलावा बाकी टाइम तो आपको पढ़ना ही पड़ेगा। क्योंकि अभी आपने भी जस्ट स्टार्ट करा है, मैंने भी जून एंड के अप्रॉक्स ही स्टार्ट किया था। बट मेरा ये था कि मैंने जस्ट बीटेक कंप्लीट की थी तो सब्जेक्ट से मैं थोड़ा फेमिलियर थी। बट एनीवेज अभी जितना टाइम है वो बहुत ज्यादा भी नहीं है, तो आपको जितना मैक्सिमम टाइम आप दे सकते हो उतना तो आपको देना है। और आप एक या दो, आप कोई भी दो सब्जेक्ट लेके स्टार्ट करो। अगर आपको लग रहा है कि जो गो क्लासेस वाला शेड्यूल है वो काफी आगे जा चुका है एंड आपको उसके हिसाब से नहीं करना है, सिर्फ आपका टारगेट ही होना चाहिए कि अक्टूबर, या आप क्योंकि आप जॉब के साथ कर रहे हो तो मोस्ट प्रोबेबली नवंबर तक चला जाएगा, तो जो भी है अक्टूबर एंड या नवंबर मिड तक आपको सारे 10 सब्जेक्ट्स कंप्लीट करने हैं। और ये सारे 10 सब्जेक्ट्स विथ पीवाईक्यूज और रिवीजन कंप्लीट होने चाहिए। मतलब अगर आप कह रहे हो कि मेरा सिलेबस 80-90% कंप्लीट है, उसका मतलब है कि आपने सारे मॉड्यूल्स अच्छे से देखे हैं और आपको चीजें याद भी है, मतलब आपने 2 से 3 बार रिवाइज किया है और आपके पीवाईक्यूज भी कंप्लीट है। ये सब आपका नवंबर मिड तक हो जाना चाहिए। अब ये डिपेंड करता है कि आप गो क्लासेस का जो शेड्यूल है वो अभी से फॉलो करके कैसे करना चाहते हो, या फिर अपने हिसाब से भी करो तो इट्स कम्प्लीटली फाइन। क्योंकि मेन टारगेट ये है कि अक्टूबर तक सिलेबस खत्म करना है। एंड नोट्स तो आपको नहीं, नोट्स आपको बिल्कुल भी नहीं बनाने चाहिए, क्योंकि नोट्स के साथ मतलब यूजलेस है बिल्कुल नोट्स। आप अगर अपने नोट्स बना भी रहे हो तो उसका कोई पॉइंट नहीं है, क्योंकि पहले तो टाइम इतना कम है। और नोट्स बनाने की जगह आप क्वेश्चंस पे आगे अभी नोट्स बनाओगे तो सिलेबस बहुत लेट कंप्लीट होगा और क्वेश्चंस आप नहीं कर पाओगे। तो ये तो आपको सोचना भी नहीं है, आपको नोट्स बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है। मैंने भी कोई नोट्स नहीं बनाए थे और मुझे बिल्कुल प्रॉब्लम नहीं हुई। इनफैक्ट एनोटेटेड नोट्स अगर आप प्रेफर करो तो आपका रिवीजन काफी अच्छे से होगा, बिकॉज आप पहले तो कोई टॉपिक मिस नहीं कर रहे। और आप शॉर्ट नोट्स मतलब एनीवेज लॉन्ग नोट्स आपको रिवाइज करनी पड़ेंगे। अगर कोई इंसान शॉर्ट नोट्स भी बना रहा है तो शॉर्ट नोट्स टुवर्ड्स द एंड, मतलब एग्जाम से जस्ट पहले में भी आप रिवीजन के लिए यूज कर सकते हो। आपको लॉन्ग नोट्स तो रिवाइज करने ही करने पड़ेंगे, मतलब 2 बार तो एटलीस्ट। सी डिपेंड करता है, कुछ लोगों को चीजें याद हो जाती है, मुझे इतने ज्यादा याद नहीं होती थी, तो मैंने जो मेन सब्जेक्ट्स जैसे सी डी एस ए मैथ्स मैंने इतनी रिवाइज नहीं की थी। बट जो कंप्यूटर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एंड आर्किटेक्चर है, कंप्यूटर नेटवर्क ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम सीओए, ये सब जो सिस्टम्स वाले सब्जेक्ट है ये मैंने कम से कम 3 बार ही रिवाइज किए होंगे पूरे नोट्स स्टार्टिंग से लेके एंड तक। तो आप अभी सिर्फ अगेन मैं आपको ऐसे ही टारगेट सजेस्ट करूंगी कि सी और डीएसए मेरे हिसाब से आपको स्टिल थोड़ा इजी लगेगा, क्योंकि वो लॉजिकल सब्जेक्ट है, प्रोग्राम्स आपको देखने और ये सब। तो आप अभी टारगेट करो कि आप 2 सब्जेक्ट एक मंथ में कंप्लीट कर रहे हो, तो इस हिसाब से आपको अक्टूबर तक 8 सब्जेक्ट कंप्लीट हो जाएंगे और सिर्फ सी और डीएसए बचेगा। तो ये आप आराम से कवर कर लोगे, आपको कंप्लीट करने में टाइम नहीं लगेगा। अभी के लिए आपका टारगेट होना चाहिए कि आप 2 सब्जेक्ट्स कंप्लीट कर रहे हो। तो अभी आपने जस्ट शुरू किया है तो आपके पास क्वेश्चंस करने को इतने नहीं होंगे, तो आप अभी सिर्फ टारगेट करो। मे बी आप एक डिजिटल लॉजिक या एक कोई छोटा सब्जेक्ट ले लो, कि डिजिटल लॉजिक ले लिया, टीओसी ले लिया, कोई भी एक ऐसा सब्जेक्ट लो और एक ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम या फिर ऐसा कुछ ले लो। डीबीएमएस भी थोड़ा फन सब्जेक्ट है तो वो भी ले सकते हो, और इसके साथ एक मुश्किल वाला। तो 2 सब्जेक्ट्स आप स्टार्ट करो, क्योंकि 3-4 दिन एक ही सब्जेक्ट करके हम थोड़ा बोर हो जाते हैं। तो आप ऐसे 3-4 दिन एक करो, फिर कुछ और सब्जेक्ट करो, ऐसे करके जुलाई एंड तक आपके 2 सब्जेक्ट कंप्लीट हो जाने चाहिए। फिर आप अगस्त में 2 नए सब्जेक्ट उठाओ और फिर आप पीवाईक्यूज करना स्टार्ट कर दो पहले वाले सब्जेक्ट के। अगर मतलब आपको जब भी टाइम मिल रहा है, फिर आपके पास रास्ते में टाइम है कम्यूट करने के, ऑफिस आने जाने में, या आपको ऑफिस में ऐसे ब्रेक मिल जाता है, या जब भी पॉसिबल है, तो आप पीवाईक्यूज उस टाइम में कर सकते हो। लाइक मेरे साथ क्या था कि ऑफिस में बिकॉज ऑफ कोर्स लेक्चर्स ईयरफोन्स लगा के तो मैं नहीं देख सकती, बट बीच में ऐसे था कि ब्रेक्स हैं या फ्री टाइम है, तो मैं पीवाईक्यूज की, क्योंकि मेरे पास बुक थी, तो मैं 25 लाइक 2-3 पेज का फोटो क्लिक करके ले जाती थी, और ऑफिस में आई यूज टू सॉल्व दोज क्वेश्चंस, ताकि मेरे पीवाईक्यूज होते रहे। और घर आके फिर मैं लेक्चर्स देखती हूँ, क्योंकि ऑब्वियस सी बात है, अगर कोई ड्रॉपर है तो वो तो अपना दिन डिवाइड कर लेगा, पर अगर आप जॉब कर रहे हो तो घर आने के बाद आपके पास वीकडे में आइडियली 3 से 4 घंटे ही होते हैं, तो उसमें आप लेक्चर पीवाईक्यू सब कैसे करोगे? तो इफ पॉसिबल है तो आप रास्ते में अपने, या फिर ऑफिस में ब्रेक मिल रहा है तो उसमें पीवाईक्यू करने का ट्राई करना अगस्त से, और घर आने के बाद फिर आप लेक्चर्स देखना, जो भी आप 2 सब्जेक्ट अगस्त में टारगेट कर रहे हो। बट अभी आपने जस्ट सिलेबस शुरू किया, तो इस महीने तो आपको पीवाईक्यूज नहीं करने, अभी तो आप सिर्फ लेक्चर्स ही देखो पूरा टाइम, और आप कैसे भी करके ट्राई करो कि 2 सब्जेक्ट्स आपको कंप्लीट करने हैं। एंड ये काफ़ी हेक्टिक भी होता है ऑफ कोर्स, लाइक जॉब से आने के बाद तो बहुत हेक्टिक होता है। और लेक्चर्स ऐसा भी नहीं कि आपने बस चला दिया, आपको समझना भी है ढंग से। तो जो मेरा एक चीज़ जो मुझे काफ़ी हेल्प की थी, कि मैंने फ़ोन बिल्कुल ही बंद कर दिया था। लाइक मैं फ़ोन अपना हटा ही देती थी, लाइक ऑलमोस्ट स्विच ऑफ ही कर देती थी। बाद में मुझे स्टार्टिंग में थोड़ा वो लगता है, बट एंड में तो मुझे फिर स्विच ऑफ करने की भी ज़रूरत नहीं थी, ऑटोमैटिकली मैं फ़ोन नहीं देखती थी। बट ये मेरे लिए काफ़ी एक बड़ा डिफरेंस आया था, क्योंकि ऑफिस से आने के बाद ऐसा रहता था कि घर आके ठीक है, थोड़ा-सा फ़ोन देख लिया, थोड़ा-सा लिंक्डइन चला लिया, या यूट्यूब पे ऐसे शॉर्ट्स स्क्रॉल कर रहे हैं। तो वो अगर मैं 20 मिनट भी देख रही हूँ, तो उसके बाद मुझे इतना ज़्यादा लाइक वियर्ड फ़ील होता था, और मैं इतना बहुत एग्ज़ॉस्टेड फ़ील करती थी, और फिर मेरा पढ़ने का मोस्टली मन नहीं करता था। बट जब मैंने फ़ोन को 100% हटा दिया, इट मीन्स कि मैं फ़ोन देख ही नहीं रही हूँ, बिल्कुल भी नहीं। लाइक अदर देन कॉलिंग, आप फ़ोन किसी चीज़ के लिए यूज़ नहीं कर रहे हो, जो कि करना ही पड़ेगा अगर आपको 7 मंथ्स में सिलेबस कंप्लीट करना है। तो मैं आने के बाद वॉक करने चली जाती थी। दैट यूज्ड टू हेल्प मी कि 20-30 मिनट्स का वॉक कर लिया, जिसमें मैं खुद को ऐसे मेंटली प्रिपेयर कर लेती, फ़ोन रख के जाती थी मैं वॉक करने, सो दैट मैं थोड़ा पीसफुली प्लान कर पाऊँ कि अब मुझे क्या करना है। तो उस 30 मिनट्स में मैं खुद, आई यूज्ड टू मोटिवेट माई सेल्फ कि ठीक है, आई हैव टू डू दिस, जो भी आपको, आई जस्ट यूज्ड टू बेसिकली टॉक टू माई सेल्फ एंड बी प्रिपेयर्ड कि अब जाके मुझे पढ़ना है। एंड फॉर द नेक्स्ट 3 आवर्स फिर आप आके लेक्चर्स देखो। तो अगर आपको ऐसा कोई ब्रेक है, मे बी अगर आपको योगा, मेडिटेशन, एक्सरसाइज, अगर आप भले आधे घंटे की जगह किसी दिन 1 घंटे का भी ब्रेक ले रहे हो, बट वो ब्रेक आपके लिए इफेक्टिव होना चाहिए, कि उस ब्रेक के बाद आपको अच्छा लगे। जब हम फ़ोन पे ऐसे कि बाहर जाने पे और ऐसी किसी एक्टिविटी पे टाइम वेस्ट करते हैं, देन बाद में हम और ड्रेन हो जाते हैं। तो बेसिकली आप प्रोडक्टिव ब्रेक्स लो, एंड देन अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट तो ऐसा कोई फिक्स टाइम टेबल नहीं है। आप जब भी पढ़ पाओ, यू हैव टू स्टडी। अगर किसी दिन आपके ऑफिस में बाकी कोई भी नहीं आया है, और पॉसिबल है आपके पास काम नहीं है, देन उस दिन आप पूरे दिन पढ़ो। इफ आप छुट्टी ले रहे हो तो पूरे दिन पढ़ो, वीकेंड्स पे पूरे दिन पढ़ो। सो दैट्स हाउ यू विल हैव टू डू इट। ऐसा कोई फिक्स टाइम टेबल नहीं है। द ओनली की इज की स्टडी जहाँ पे भी पॉसिबल हो, लाइक ऑन द वे, जब भी पॉसिबल हो आप पढ़ो, और जितना ज्यादा हो सकता है उतना करो, क्योंकि सिलेबस तो कंप्लीट करना है बाय अक्टूबर। Okay, Kuldeep, any other question? Okay, done. Okay, then let's end the session. Thank you, everyone. I wish all of you best of luck, and myself also. Abhi, I'm also following the GATE DA syllabus, and again, uh, so basically, I am also trying to follow it and complete it. And college is starting in just 20 months, so I also have a very sort of tight deadline, and I also, I am also in the same zone of just studying and everything. So, I would say best of luck to all of us. Bye.